Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerson Hernandez, and I am the host of the You, Me, Understand Me podcast, a podcast designed to give our everyday people, like you and me, a voice in the mainstream media. If you haven't had a chance yet, head over to our website at understandme.blog and read the topic of today's podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 4, revolves around our blog post titled, Why Music Makers Aren't the Real Losers in Society. For today's episode, I decided to bring in 3 up-and-coming music artists to share the struggles and sacrifices needed to make it in an environment that is crowded. On one mic, I have Glenell.
Yes. Hello. Nice to meet you guys. I met you guys before. What am I talking about? My name is Glenell. I produce on a Conundrum. I just dropped a song called Galaxy on SoundCloud. It's just how you spell it, but with an IE instead of a Y. I'm excited to be here. All
right. On the second mic, I have Asif.
Yo, what up, man? My name's Asif. My stage name is Asif. I just dropped a single, my first single on all platforms. It's called Great, featuring Barry America and King Acne, mixed by Knife. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
Check that out.
And on mic 3, I actually have Romario.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Romario. KoahG on Instagram. I just dropped a song. It's also my first single. It's called Trippin'. Trippin', not with the G at the end, just Trippin'. And it's on all platforms as well.
Dope. All right. So what we're going to be talking about is pretty simple. As the technology advances and the sound of today becomes the sound of yesterday, these 3 young men have remained consistent in their pursuit of success with a firm grip on the ship, ready to ride the wave. Today we will discuss the following topics: how to explore creativeness, challenging the unknown, and bridging the gap between reality and fiction. So, first thing first, thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time, getting over here, and discussing your journey, hopefully inspiring many of the younger generations to pursue their own passions. So, first thing first, Glenell, tell us a bit about yourself. So, I know all 3 of you, after high school, you guys graduate. Boom. Tell me how exactly you started devoting 100% into your music passion, and currently, what are you pursuing? How do you feel about it? So just tell us your journey into actually getting into the music industry.
All right, most definitely. So I actually started making music around the age of 13. I didn't get into it too seriously until after I graduated because my parents were always on me about, schoolwork.
Yeah, definitely.
I graduated from Cal State with Cal State San Bernardino with a BS. In biology.
Congrats.
And after that, I kind of felt that even though I got that degree, it wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy science that much. So what I actually did was I would make music in my spare time, and I would actually go to Smash Bros tournaments. And it's funny because I actually met a couple dudes over there that were producers, so they kind of took me under their wing, like told me what I needed to do branding wise, promotion wise, and all that. Another thing I used to do is whenever I would stream online, like on Twitch, like if I had a video game that I'm playing, basically every time I played a game and I lost, like I'd try to make like a beat or like a track within like 15 minutes just to get started. So that was basically how I got into where I am today with the music, and I'm loving every minute of it.
All right, dope. Azif, how did you get started?
Man, well, besides growing up and doing it throughout high school, I think right after high school, start getting FAFSA, getting your first job. Now you have financial stability to really invest in the music stuff. So that's literally what happened. We just put together the tax returns, financial aid money, and the 9-to-5 money.
All right.
Our equipment and just do it ourselves.
Okay, for sure. So you've been at this for how long now?
Damn, my whole life, man, since I was 9 years old.
Damn.
I grew up in music.
All right, that's what's up.
Producing, just whatever it is, man.
Dig it. All right, Romario, what about you?
Yeah, I was like I was telling you earlier, I was in class, in my math class. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
But pretty much, I think that, after you graduate, I went probably into like a spiritual journey more.
Okay.
I think it takes time to find who you are in life.
Yeah, definitely.
And definitely that knowing who you are, people can feel who you are.
Yeah, definitely. So you Glenell figured it out mostly around like age 13. You figured it out pretty much at age 9, since pretty much out the womb you figured it out. And then you figured it out during a class in math?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when you guys discovered fuck it, I want to do music. That's when you guys develop the passion. Now, one of the biggest things going on right now, there's pretty much the wave of how technology is changing. We have new platforms every single day. We have new methods of giving out content to the public. That being said, Azif, how do you personally explore your creativeness, go through the process of your creativeness, and then how do you decide what type of content to put out? So what's the type of music that you like to be known for? Is it rap, hip-hop? What is it mostly that you like to be known for?
I think it's difficult to say that in a sense, because considering that, like, my creative process, it ranges from all types of music, you know, hip-hop being the foundation. I think the best way I can respond to that is what you feel is best. I think music is feeling.
Okay.
And I think when you put that out and when you express that genuine energy through your creative process into your content, that's when, you know, you get the best results, you know, opposed to kind of worried about what the next artist is doing. You know, you do what you do because you love doing it.
So it's pretty much blind focus onto your thing, 100% tunnel focus into what you want to do.
What you want to do, like, shit, I don't know.
No, you good. Yeah, you're good, bro.
Fuck what everybody got to say. If you feel like this is what you're doing is right, then do what you love doing, because in the end of the day, you're going to be your own toughest critic. You're going to be your own biggest supporter. You know what I mean? So you just got to do it.
All right, for sure. Romario, how about you? What's your creative process like? How do you actually decide, I'm going to do this and I'm going to plan it this way?
I mean, just like how it starts, you know, it's not always so solid, you know. It takes a lot of time to build up, like, confidence and feeling inside of a flow, you know, so that when you actually put it on the track, it actually hits and everything is actually making sense. You know what I mean?
See. Okay.
So that takes time.
I dig it.
You get me?
Yeah, definitely. Glenell?
Yeah, basically the same thing. I think when you get more comfortable into going outside of your comfort zone, and like as you said, you know, he tapped into all types of music, but hip hop is his foundation. Like, when you're able to consume a lot of genres and then you bring that back into your own signature sound and you bring something new to the table, I think that's insane. Like, I love when I see producers do that. Like, I can see that with these two right here. I can see that with a lot of upcoming artists. So that's personally what I like to do is I'll listen to, like, smooth jazz and stuff, and then, like, I'll try to interpolate the chords from that into you know.
Okay, and I really like the topic you're bringing out right here. Now, Romario, what's your creative process like? So how do you turn from blank piece of paper into a first single? What's the whole process like? How do you even decide what the lyrics are going to be, what the topic's going to be, what the framework's going to be? What's the whole creative process? Take me from step 1 all the way to step 100.
I would definitely think that, you know, shout out to the YouTube beats out there, you know, to be helping us out. That's how it starts, you know. I just look up a beat, you know, type a couple artists I really enjoy, look up the day by the week.
Okay.
Try to find some, like, low-key producer or engineer who's actually putting out that song.
Yeah.
And then right when it happens, it's more like a switch, like it turns on. Like, I don't think I write the songs write me. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm not really, like, thinking. It's more of, like, just a feeling.
Got you. So you write based on your feeling. That's pretty much it. Like, the beat kind of brings the lyrics out of you.
It's the feeling that the beat gives you.
Okay. Definitely. All right. What about you, Azif? How's your creative process like? Step 1, step 100. Go.
Just what the moment is, man. I feel like if I were to describe myself as my fault.
No,
if I were to describe myself as describe my production process is, like, you know, I call myself an environmentalist, and I know that's, like, a weird parallel to, like, bring together considering the fact that it's, like, it's two different things. But what it is that I go off like the environment, the moment, wherever I'm in, you know. If I'm, like, the song that I released, that creative process, what that consisted of was, literally just driving through like downtown LA skylines, and it's sunny weather, and you know, and I'm thinking something, and you know, it's very groovy, it's a good vibe, it's a beautiful day outside.
So you actually use the environment to get your creative gift started. So when Mario
around me,
when Mario would use a beat, you use the actual environment to kind of feel the type of music you want to produce at that moment. Interesting. What about you, Glenn?
I try to incorporate like certain scenes from like, let's say if I'm watching like Naruto or something, and I see like, I feel like a certain tension is between those two characters. Like if I'm making an EDM track specifically, I'll try to replicate that. Like what would that sound like? Like if I were to make the soundtrack for this scene, how would I make it? You know, how would I like view the scene as? And then I would try to take that and then incorporate that into whatever I would produce.
Got you. Okay, so on your end, wow, it's crazy. 3 of you guys, 3 different creative processes. There is no one-step formula. It's literally how you feel. However you determine it, you create your own process that's tailored to your needs. So it isn't one simple step. You can't go on Google and say how to make a song.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to make a genuine song. But if you can find your own process, your own niche, as Mike can say, then you'll make quality music that you think is going to be respected. Is that accurate? Okay, so now that that's being said, now that I could get a better grasp of the creative process, so a common trend right now, I think it's the opportunity of social media. The opportunity how social media can blow you up. You release one single, one good song, the internet blows it up, boom, you could reach stardom. So it's about being consistent, putting out music. Eventually, one song hits, that's it. You're going to be up there because social media is going to put you in that platform. Now, that being said, for up-and-coming artists, it's very difficult right now because there's so many people trying to get in that whole environment. So, typical situation, you're on Instagram, you see a funny video, boom, you click on the comments, first thing that pops up, hey guys, I'm a up-and-coming artist, go ahead and give me a shout-out, follow me, hear my songs. Now, many people, the people that are the most critic are the people that aren't doing it, the people that aren't taking that risk, putting themselves out there. Those are the people that usually are disrespectful and usually put down the creator. They're like, oh bro, your music's trash, give up, quit. But it's the people that are going through that same thing that are like, hey bro, keep up the hustle, great job. Now, in terms of your situation, what do you feel is the perception of what you do? So for example, when you tell parents, or when you tell your own parents, when you tell your peers or anybody in general, hey, I'm making music, what's usually the sound, or what's usually the feedback they give you when, as soon as you tell them, I want to devote myself more to my music than to my 9-to-5 job? But no.
Oh man, well, where to begin, man? I remember the first time, like I told like my parents that I wanted to do, you know, music, and they tried to seem supportive about it, but in all honesty, they would have much rather that I, you know, stayed in school. So basically, I told them like, okay, after my degree, like that's it, like I'm doing what I gotta do, you know.
Yeah.
And I still see that they're kind of disappointed for me like taking the music route, but in all honesty, I wouldn't have it any other way because I just know that music is my passion, that's my life, you know. So it's hard.
So there was some disappointment by your parents then?
Oh yeah, most
in that
definitely.
sense?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, Azif?
I think some of the obstacles I had to face, you know, coming up doing the music stuff was, I think, well, for me, considering that I'm first generation Bangladeshi, so
shout out.
You know, yeah, of course, man. Gotta wear it on, right?
Yep.
So, you know, I come from a background where this type of work, this type of business isn't really recognized. You know, my parents, you know, they came from their country, started a whole new life, you know. For the expectations of me following the status quo, which is you know what I'm saying, be a doctor, be a lawyer, but there's enough of that, you know. There's not, you know, there's a little bit of this,
that's true.
And you know, I think the biggest battle is your parents. It's not the people around you. It's not the people that hate on you. It's your parents. Because once you win your parents over, you can win anybody over.
Oh, so establishing the inner circle, the family circle, that is pretty much going to help you excel outside of your circle.
Exactly. That's
so
it. That's
on
it.
your case, when you told your parents or when you told the closest family members you had, hey, I'm gonna do music, what was the reception? Positive, negative?
It wasn't really a conversation to have
Uh-huh.
because I already knew just growing up and just what I seen growing up, what the status quo was.
Yeah.
This isn't just something where I can just sit with my parents and be like, yeah, hey, ma, hey, dad, like, this is what I want to do. So
Exactly.
it kind of turned into, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop, just, I'm not going to say anything, and I'm just going to keep doing it. Regardless of what they're gonna say, I just earned my father's support this year.
Oh, congrats,
Hey,
man. Dope.
I'm blessed for that. He's still on my head about it, but I think that's the biggest battle.
Most def,
like
most
those
def.
are gonna be your biggest supporters no matter what. So you gotta win them over.
Dope. What about you, Romario? At what point do you actually, like I mentioned, do you win your parents over, or do you have that conversation with them? Have you had that conversation with them?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I think at first it was a little rough.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because they don't see anything. There's no like progress shown yet.
Yeah, definitely. There's no actual monetary value that you can say, I want to make a music, and you just drop like 10 stacks.
Yeah, because you're investing in yourself,
Yeah, no, pretty much. So would you say they're supporting you right now, or would you say they're kind of on the fence about it, or are you going to try to prove to them that you belong or in this industry? What is your ideal situation where you're going to be content with the outcome for this situation?
I've definitely been having like more of the support this year. Definitely a lot more. I think the outcome is I would definitely say no matter what, I still believed in myself, and I think that they saw that within me. It probably took like 5 years,
Yeah.
I was trying to make beats at first, and it wasn't as...
Was it your cup of tea?
It was, I don't know, I like to write.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, and then I started writing for an artist, and then, I was getting a little money off of that, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But then it's like, there's no originality for myself.
Yeah, of course. Oh, so you want to establish your own brand pretty much. And, and when you have that conversation with your parents, it's like, hey, I want to do this. They're like, oh, we don't see the benefit of it right now. But you're on the mission to show them this is going to be the benefit. Let me prove it to you. Let me keep working. This is my passion. I'm going to devote myself to it. Is that the message you want to send out to your parents in that sense?
I mean, I think they already know because they do support me.
All right.
Like I told you, it's even if you ask your peers, like someone can't deny like there is a good sound or a good song.
Yeah.
It is what it is, even if it's just for that artist.
Okay.
That person's peaking at their level and they're doing what they have to do for themselves.
Okay, dope. Now, in general, music writing, it's a very difficult thing. It's time consuming, no doubt. But how do you determine, or how do you actually balance the whole process of making one song? So in general, like, what does it really take? So what's the reality and fiction? People think that making a song, it's an overnight thing. It might not be. What's the realistic time consumption making a song takes, and how do you tweak it? Because I know after you make, it's a big process. You make the beat, you make the lyrics, you make the actual revisions, you make it so your players can hear, you make it so your friends can hear. How do you actually decide this is the final product I'm giving out? In general, time consumption, how long does it really take to make a great song? Azif.
Now that, based on how times are now, that's another unknown variable. It doesn't. Some people, like for example myself, my creative process, because I understand my digital audio workspace and what I use, I can write a song. Through Fruity Loops and the program I use. I can do that in 5 minutes, arranged out everything. I have my art
notes, right?
Yeah, like just everything, like just samples, drums, intro, outro, bridge, the whole structure of the song. So I think what takes time is perfection, but that is also questionable upon the creative. Everyone has their own definition of perfection. Some people want to bang their product out quick. Some people want to take their time with it,
Definitely.
So it's really difficult nowadays. It's very difficult to say like how long does it really take.
Okay, Ramar.
I would definitely say that everyone has a different like formula, and the method is always like it's better when it's at your own pace than it being forced.
Okay, so not meeting a certain deadline, but just going at your own rhythm, at your own pace.
I mean, you got to think about like you know, let's just say someone hits up a C for a
Yeah.
beat, right? And then he collaborates with them, right? So then, depending, they'll record the vocals, right?
Yeah.
And then that takes time because there might be some really strong parts in the song, but then
Mhm.
there's some really weak points that we have to go over
Ah.
and lay over. And then even after you finish the raw of it, right? Then you have to put layers on it,
Yeah.
depending if it's just like ad-libs or if it's just like echoes in the background to make the song sound a little more full,
Yeah.
you know? So there's a lot of things that happen within the song. And
Okay.
sometimes, like, you know, it takes, like me, it took the song that I released, it took me like 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So every time is a little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, just get into a different headspace.
No, definitely. The fact that you can at least say that you're not gonna get it on the first try, it's important. Every perfection, it takes time. Making something that is perfect to you, it takes time. So it might not be on the first, it might not be on the second. Shit, it might not even be on the third. It might be on the 10th time. But it's to the point that you feel comfortable with it. Not that society feels comfortable. It's when you guys feel comfortable. Glenell, what do you think in terms of that?
So it is a bit more difficult for me to speak on it because I personally don't have much like songwriting experience.
Mhm.
But from what I've seen, I work with a certain group of artists, and it never fails. There's this one dude that comes in and like I'll get the beat done for him,
Mhm.
and then he'll go on the mic, and then he'll write it out, and then he'll be like, "All right, for sure, we got this," you know. And then next day we'll come back. He's like, "Hey, bro, I want to change this and this," you know. And it wasn't because he was. I shouldn't say it's because he was dissatisfied with it. I would just say it's because he thought that he could do better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a lot of what goes on with a lot of songwriters is that they'll write a song, they'll like have it there, you know, but then they'll read over it a couple times and they'll be like, okay, I think I could improve upon this part, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's a lot of the process is just going back and reviewing your own work and making sure that, you know, you're satisfied with it, because I feel like if you put out something you're not completely satisfied with it, over time you'll kind of grow to hate it.
I see. So if you're not 100%, don't put it out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, as you guys are already removed from the high school experience. There's a lot of people that are currently in high school that really do want to develop their space into this industry. What's the best piece of advice that you wish you knew back when you were in high school that could have helped you expand quicker and grow quicker? Romario?
You see true people's selves in splashes, so that's a good way to reflect even upon yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think be genuine for yourself. You know, love yourself. I think those are the most important things. It's like just being a person.
Yeah. Okay, Azif.
I think if I can just rewind back to high school.
Yeah.
I think what I would have done different was learn about like stepping out of your comfort zone. You know, I was too codependent on people around me. I grew up a very group-oriented person.
I see. Okay.
So when my creative process back in high school, you know, because I used to rap back in high school, that's why I got in production, because production, it allowed me to, you know, it helped me become more of an individual in the music side of things, because I didn't need to rely on an engineer. I didn't need to rely on a location. You know, I could just have it. I could just have the music downloaded wherever I'm at, and I don't have to worry about it. You know, funny thing about it is when I first got Fruity Loops, right, on my desktop, Glenell actually came to my house and he downloaded it for me.
Damn, hey, I'm true MVP, true MVP.
Thank you, bro.
I got you.
Yeah, man. So, definitely that. I think just learning how to become more self-sufficient back then.
Dope. What about you, Glenn? At what point? What's the advice you wish you could have given to your younger self?
Oh man, hang in there, high key, because it's very discouraging. Like it's funny because I remember one time like I was like, I think it's around the same time that I helped to see with it Fruity Loops. Like I was producing, and like high key I never showed anybody because I was just kind of like, these aren't good, you know. And then I showed him, and he's like, "Dude, these are great. You need to keep doing it, you know."
Love it.
Like, I appreciate that, you know. And same thing with Romario. Like, I remember, like this was a little bit into I think college time. You know, I sent him a couple beats and stuff, and he was telling me to keep going for it. And I think the advice that I could give is, even if you feel like you can't do it, you can hang in there because it's hard.
Amen.
So that's the best piece of advice I can give.
Yo,
So.
I dig it. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Give us a quick second for our break. All right, guys, and we're back. All right, so you guys laid me the foundation. I understand more about the creative process, making music, etc., etc. Now, how do you deal with negative backlash? So, like we mentioned off air, sometimes we drop something, we drop a song, we drop something that we devoted ourselves to 100%, and we put it on Instagram, put a great caption, nice hashtags, Spotify links, Anchor links, all that stuff. 50% of the people say, yo, that's good. 20% of people say, amazing, I'll recommend it. And let's say the other percent, that's a piece of shit. How do you deal with that when somebody says that? Honestly, Azif.
Dang, with this release is crazy because I actually had some of the comments. But,
shit.
Yeah. But the cool thing is that, hey, thanks for listening.
Exactly. Exactly. True.
You just gave me one play. You just gave me one stream. I don't know how many X amount of fucking cents that shit is. But thanks for playing. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
For real.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. Like, I think it's just, depending on what mood you're in the moment, you could feel like let's say you're just having a bad day, and then you just see that comment. Your day could either be super worse.
Exactly,
like,
man.
Damn, there's two ways of looking at it. Like, damn, this person left a fucked up comment, or damn, this person left a fucked up comment. So yeah, man.
Dude, I love that. That's a great way to look at it. Glenell, what about you?
Oh man, I think Heike. I think if you find the humor in it, I think that helps. Like I remember one time I released a track and someone called it weeaboo garbage.
Wow.
And it was I don't know why it was the funniest thing to me. Like, you'll always have a lot of negative backlash, and I think it's important that you deal with the negative backlash that comes from not only your consumers but also within yourself, because like maybe you can release something and then you just don't like it. You just don't like it, and you never know, that song might be the one that carries you. But I think it's a lot of self-doubt within that people need to try and minimize, because I think if you have all the self-doubt and piling on top of the negative comments you receive, you're gonna be discouraged and you're gonna not want to make any more music. You have to
for sure Romario.
Well, I use negative comments as like a fuel to be better.
Okay.
But besides that, I think that it's good to hear negative comments. Especially if you're good at your craft or you want to get good at your craft. Like, I think it'll just push you to be good. Because, like, I think when you know what you'll become, it takes just time to, like, manifest and be that person. But I think it really just takes, like, consistency.
Yeah.
And not, like, lying to yourself.
Okay, so it's pretty much... So, honesty and finding the humor in it and just shutting out the haters, just closing your eyes, closing your ears and saying, I'm going to make music. This is what I love. I'm going to stay making music and just continuing with or without the support of certain people. Because there's 1 billion people in the world. More than 1 billion, honestly. 50% might not like it. But the other 50%, they'll like it. And then, if you can get 50% of the whole people in the world, come on now, that's like a good number. So, people forget, there's a bunch of listeners in the world. Only because one person hates it, and only because one person took time out of their day to make you feel like shit. All right, there's 100 million other people that could make you feel better. Just be patient. Be patient with the process. Enjoy the process. I think as creators, that's one of the things that we forget about. That sometimes we don't enjoy the whole journey that it takes us to get to that level. Because one day, I'm 100% sure, one day each and every one of you is going to reach the epitome of success. Whether it's making millions, whether it's getting to perform at a local concert, or whether it's just having your stream play 1,000 hits. The fact that you can identify your own version of success and be okay and content with that, I think that's definitely what everybody should seek to accomplish. That being said, what would your version of success be, Azif?
My version of success?
Like, at what point do you know you're making this music? At what point do you say, fuck, I made it? What point do you actually genuinely say that to yourself?
I think I would be comfortable saying that when everyone around me, like, you know, like my mother's retired, sister's tuition's paid off.
Definitely.
You know, like pretty much when my goals are achieved, that's when I know, like, all right, I'm successful.
What about you, Glenn?
Same, to be honest. When I'm able to provide, you know, for my family, for everything they've done, and when I'm able to look back on the hard work that I've done, and I can visibly see that there is a change, with how my music is being broadcast in terms of not only just, like, you know, views and stuff, but quality, consistency, all that. Like, I think that from that point I'll know
that's your version of success. Romario?
I mean, it's all pretty much the same. I think maybe your question was more like, when do you think that you're
like you made it,
like you made it in the sense of like, oh, I could put this out and this could possibly be something?
Well, more so in the sense that, like, you're creating this music. How do you define your success per song or per platform that you put it on? So, for example, for me, I'm making all these podcasts. Eventually, one day, I want to be in a platform where I can be a guest speaker at a big event. That would be my version of I made it. What would be your version of making it as an artist? So some people think getting a record deal. Some people think performing with one of your favorite artists. Some people think getting 100 plays in your song. How do you at what point do you say I made it into this field? I broke into the industry and I solidified my legacy at this moment. When do you identify that? How do you identify it?
I mean, definitely when you can secure the bag and definitely secure your family. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, so
I don't think it matters how you get there. Some people aren't even famous necessarily.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they make so much money. You know, like you have someone like Designer who like made that one hit song,
like
you know,
and
then now he's touring like, you know, UK, Japan, Tokyo, just because he can, because people like will like that scene, will like that sound no matter what. So I think everything just prioritizes based on what you believe you can do.
Definitely. And now bringing it back to the version of success, when you were in, how did you, because the sense that I'm getting is that at times do you guys think school is for you? How do you guys feel about that? Glenell, do you think school was for you?
Personally, if I could go back, I probably would not have gone to college. But that is just because I feel that I was forced into that because of my parents.
Oh, I see.
So I feel like if you are not willingly going to college, or you're not going to college for the right reasons, don't do it. Because you're not going to put your 100% in it, and, you know, anything you don't put your all into, you're not going to have the best performance, personally.
Definitely.
So that's just my take on it. So.
Azif?
I really feel that if college was designed for students to be able to take classes based upon the things that they can use instantly, like the second you step out of that lecture hall, whatever you learned, whatever you took notes on, you can already apply it to the real world at an instant. That's when school would be for everybody. But it's kind of the same thing for me. It's more that, like, I'm back in school right now, but I'm only taking classes that is beneficial to my line of work.
Oh.
If it doesn't benefit me, why the fuck am I there? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it makes sense. Like, you wouldn't take a fucking architect class if it's not gonna help you in what you're genuinely passionate about. You want something to, if you're gonna invest time is the number one asset. You're never gonna get it back. What do you decide to spend time on? That's definitely the mindset people should have. Romario, what about you?
The question was, I forgot the question, sorry.
The question is pretty much, is school for you? How do you identify if it is or isn't?
I mean, definitely be paying attention if you do like school. If you don't, then you'll be spacing out like I was.
Oh, so spacing out in general. So if you're in class and you're like, "Fuck, this shit's boring as shit."
I think the same thing that Glenell said. Like, if you're half-assing it, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
If you do put 100% into something you feel passionate about, or you feel will have succession, then it'll most likely work.
So that being said, how do you find the circle how do you build your social circle to get you into a position of success? So how do you build your social circle to help you achieve success? So in your case, Romario, when you first released your single, how did you say, I want to work with this person, I want to work with this person, this person, this person, I want him to help me revise? Like, how did you actually strategize and say, I want to pick him, him to help me in my first song release? How do you identify that personally?
I definitely had to build up to that. You know, I went to different studios, like maybe 3, and then the first 2 weren't too great of an experience, you know. And then eventually I met Orlando, Fresh, and he's a good, genuine guy, and I felt like we vibe really good.
Dope.
And then I hired an illustrator to actually make the cover for the song.
Sweet.
So, and that was random too. I went to like a art show, you know, and I liked his design, and then I just took the card, and then I hit up the girl. Her name was Ariella.
Dope.
She's pretty dope. Shout out to her too. And yeah, she just has some mad skills, and she did some pretty awesome work.
Dope.
Yeah, that just took time, you know. Definitely talking to a lot of people. I think that people who make it, they're not like smarter. I just think they think differently.
Yeah.
And they're put into different opportunities based on like their vibration, or even the way you present yourself. Because when you walk around, like, you're the CEO of your own company, you know, you represent yourself all the time.
Pretty much.
So people, the way you like give off the vibe, people will perceive that, you know. Some people see good sides about me, some people see some bad sides about me. But to me, I'm always gonna be me. So as long as I'm genuine to myself, like, sometimes I feel like I'm like too genuine to be fake, you know.
I see.
Because I'm like that with myself.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the art of being genuine. So for you, that's how you found your circle. Just being yourself, being genuine. Now, how did you identify and pretty much, so how would you identify if this person was right for your circle? So let's say you went to 3 studios. How did you identify and say, this doesn't feel too well? How do you make that final determination if it is or is not a perfect fit?
I think there's like selfish, right? And then self-centered. I feel like selfish is only beneficial for one person. And then self-centered is somebody who's trying to work on their craft, you know.
Okay.
So when I first started recording with people were a little selfish. Like, you know, some guy was straight up was like, you know, you don't sound like Drake. You need to stop singing.
Damn.
You know, and that's fine. Like, you know, like I take that. Like I told you, like it's up to me to give this person permission to hurt my feelings or not. You know.
Exactly.
So I took it as like, all right, you know, that was a little cold, but it is what it is, you know. And so I used that to fuel me.
Yeah.
You know? And even when I did the song, then like it was terrible. Like I didn't feel it. But it helped me, you know. It helped me build character within the feeling of a song.
Dope. So you use that as motivation, pretty much. Oh, I respect that, man. That's what's up. Azif, what about you?
So my bad. Repeat the question one more time.
I'll be honest, guys. I don't know what the hell the question is.
The question was, I think, fuck, damn.
Like, how do you build your social?
Thank you.
Your circle? Well, first things first. I think first things first, before anything, rule number 0, which is like a rule that you should know, like attracts like. So, piggybacking off what Mario said, you know, if it feels right, if there's a chemistry there, it's going to be right. Second thing is understanding everyone's strengths. What's everyone's strengths? What's everyone's weaknesses? Just because...
Analyzing.
So, you know... Just because you can facilitate a whole team of people together doesn't necessarily mean they'd be able to work together.
Yeah.
You know, it's like sports, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just have too many all-stars on your roster, that's not going to be a good roster, because what happens with all-stars? Everyone has egos, like these things coming away. And it's not something intentional, but it's something that's built, and it just comes with the artistry as you keep doing it and as you keep receiving accolades for it. So... the best thing is to, you know, spend time finding, you know, spend time finding the good quality traits of people and how you can incorporate that with others and create a middle ground so you can get the best record, the best product, just the best idea, the overall vision clear as possible.
Dope. Glenell, what about you?
Honestly, they said everything that needed to be said about that. But if I had to add anything, basically going off of something that Romario said, being you is important. I feel that a lot of a lot of people, when they try to brand themselves as an artist, they may try to put on a persona, and in all honesty, you don't need to do that. You really don't. It's a lot better if you're genuine with someone up front and you tell them, hey, I have an interest in this. I want to, be able to do this, blah, blah, blah. And not try to come across as you're trying to use them, as you're trying to use them as a stepping stone, but more that you want to work with them, you want to collaborate,
you want to help them grow. Pretty much.
Exactly. I feel like on top of that, if you're able to find somebody that can mutually respect you as an artist and understand that you have certain things that you need to do or certain things you want to do, and you will not budge until that gets done, I think that's very important. Because, that's not just even a business aspect, but that's just, an interpersonal aspect. Like, if you're able to respect that somebody has work that they want to put out, you have to let them do that, because that's their creative process. That's what they want to brand themselves as, and I think that's important.
Definitely. Okay, now, so pretty much genuineness, honesty, and identifying what the true motives of everybody is and analyzing in general, that's the best way to build a social circle. Now, that being said, in terms of your music, Glenell, what has been your biggest failure and your biggest success or accomplishment that you've made it so far in terms of currently?
I think my biggest failure when I was starting was consistency. Because there was a point where, like, I would release music, like, I think, like, every 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And there was a point where, like, I just fell off. Because, like, it was, like, I was dealing with a lot of college stuff. And everything. So it was kind of, like, after that happened, it kind of, like, went down a bit. So I'm trying to build it back up. So I think that was, like, my biggest failure. But my biggest success was maintaining connections in which people saw my true potential. And where I was able to see theirs, just going back to that last one,
Share a moment.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember I had a beat battle coming up. This was, I think, in August or July, and I went over to my homie's house that I make music with. Shout out Roger. Shout out Hikey Poppin', my dudes. And we were gonna go make some music, and he told me, "Hey, I have a homeboy pulling up. I think I think it'd be dope for you to meet him." I'm like, "All right, for sure, cool." And it's crazy because when I met him, we kind of bonded over the fact that we were like one of the too few like EDM producers in like the Inland Empire.
Dope.
Like, he was showing me his stuff, I was showing him my stuff.
Yeah.
And, and it's cool because after that happened, he started taking me under his wing, and like he basically
mentorship pretty much.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that.
So that's what I'm really grateful for. In terms of my biggest successes. Yeah.
Dope. Azif?
Biggest failure, biggest success so far in the business. I think my biggest failure is when, with consistency, of course, right? Overthinking, and also, I still remember the date and everything. So, I was moving fast. I was being very careless. I had a lot of expensive stuff in my car, my laptop, my files, all my artists' files, new microphone we just got from my recording studio, everything, and I got robbed.
Oh, man.
So that, thankfully, I got help. I got help. I was able to recoup. Not the files, but at least get another laptop, and whatnot.
Oh,
so I think I could say that was definitely like one of my biggest failures because it was just a very careless thing.
Damn, how did you continue after that? That's a big thing. Personally, if that would have happened to me, holy fuck, man. I don't know how to deal with that.
Honestly, I was thankful to have like the amount of support I did have at the time.
Yeah.
I think that's how I was able to recoup. I think just being a good believer of the universe and keeping your energy right, whatever goes around comes around. Right. So I got blessed with that, So that was the failure. I think the achievement was, as I'm studying more the business side of things, I spend a lot of time in the business side of things.
Yeah.
One thing I learned that's very important is ownership.
Okay.
So ownership is, when you have the rights to your content, to your work, to everything you're doing, and just how you navigate in the industry. So I think my biggest success that I can say so far is being able to have that. So, from the music that I'm creating, it's created in my own recording studio, my own producers, my own engineers, my own artwork, my own videos. just everything on our own. All of our business relationships we have, whether if it's in the music side of things or it's in the video side of things.
Love it.
There's ownership of that relationship. It's not a like hierarchy. It's an eye to eye level thing. So I think that's my biggest success so far.
Dude, I respect that. That's nice. Romario?
Definitely had a lot of failures that led to a lot of successes. One of them was I actually wrote about eight tracks for this indie artist. I think he was from Toronto or Montreal, something like that.
Yeah.
And he came out here. He was pretty cool. We chopped it up right here at LACC.
Dope.
And then he liked some of the songs that I wrote. And I wasn't really good at portraying my feeling or even rapping or singing.
Yeah.
So I feel like he could express it for me, and it was cool and everything. I actually had like an old friend help me out, produce some of the beats. So it was pretty cool. Like some of my beats were on there, and like I sold the songs for like $8K, and then I felt like it was an accomplishment, but it really wasn't. I felt like someone took my originality.
Oh, I
mean?
see.
And it doesn't mean that I didn't like working with the guy or that I didn't want to do the deal. But I guess the more I saw like myself get better, the more I kind of like started doubting why would I do something like that. So that definitely led me like to Glenell, like I broke off a little bit, And because I broke off because of that, like, I met like one of the homies. I was living with him. His name was Brandon. Shout out to the 90s. He was cool as fuck. He was actually from Florida. He moved out here, and I met him at a Guitar Center. Yeah, because I was showing some random guy there, who showed me his music. So we were just chopping it up, and he was in there, and then we just started talking, and it was weird because he's like, "You want to ride home?" Yeah, I have a car, so I was like, "Oh shit, this guy might try to kill me."
Oh my god!
But no, actually,
stranger danger,
cool,
bro.
And we chopped it up. We went to Five Guys. I bought him like a burger because he was gonna take me home. And I live far from where we were. So it's pretty cool. I just think that each time, like, I was met with the failure too. Like, like not even too long ago, I felt like my mind, my heart, and my soul was like broken. Yeah. And like, it took like a lot. Waking up every day and not feeling like I deserved that. Yeah. Like, that was a different expression for me.
Definitely.
But to like, I think my biggest success was like becoming not just a better me, but like having a lot of peace within myself, Yeah. So that definitely made a lot of things more easier.
Love that.
And it made things more open to like embrace.
Yeah.
Instead of resisting,
Oh, okay. So for you personally, it's more of like when you felt liberated in a sense. Yeah. You're free.
Yeah.
You are your own brand now.
That's how I met all these people.
Oh, dude, I respect that. Nah, see, like that's the journey itself. Like I say, the journey itself is the best thing that you can do in a business. It's pretty much for this specific business. It requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of effort, creativeness. Even when you're depressed, even when you're feeling some type of way, you still want to be consistent making the music, even if you're not in the best state of mind. But the fact that you can continue and remain consistent despite any adversity you face, that's what's important. Now, before we close it off, what's two things? One, Glenell, what's the best piece of advice you can give to your two fellow peers on your left-hand side in terms of either their music or the journey so far?
Well, from what I've seen, like from what I heard from both of these two, y'all got it. So please don't stop. For real, y'all got it. So keep going.
Appreciate it.
Like, like I see these. It's crazy because like I don't think any of us really envisioned being in this state of success with our music where we're at like 5 years ago, even. And I'm seeing how everybody's doing, and I'm like, man, that's what's up, So like. I think that's probably my biggest piece of advice. Like,
respect. Azif?
My piece of advice for both. I think like studying is very important. Like keep yourself educated. Education, like it goes beyond the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Like we all met in the classroom, but like we're still gonna be learning out of the classroom. Like just being the student of the game is like. That's always gonna excel you 10 steps forward.
Like, dig it.
It's infinite.
Always.
You know what I mean?
Fuck with it.
Yeah, bro.
Romario?
I would definitely say, one of them would definitely be like patience. Patience is, is definitely like an art as well. Besides that, I mean, if you're always yourself, people will definitely, show their true selves as well.
Word.
But I still believe that, like, I feel that because we're putting our time, we're doing what we gotta do, like, it will manifest, it will happen. And I believe because it's bigger than us. It's bigger than just one person.
Exactly.
So it's like everybody,
Exactly. That's true. Now, the last question for each of you. So, we're pretty much all in school in Koreatown. Now, what's the best piece of advice you can give to the young high schooler, the dreams of being a musician, the dreams of being an artist? The biggest piece of advice that you can give to the current youth right now that have to deal with social media, depression, education standards, family troubles, etc., drama. Biggest piece of advice you can give them that can help them in their journey to success in the music business. Romario.
That's definitely a hard one. There's so many things you can really say. I think that the main point is definitely be consistent and persistent with just like the craft, and critique. That's life. Everybody's a critic,
Yeah, exactly.
And an opinion is just an opinion, and it always should be like that. So if you believe in yourself, it will manifest. But that only works if you believe, and if you doubt at any point, the power will push back. It'll let you go.
Yeah, honestly, that's true. So true. Glenell?
High key, have your blinders on, man. Like, you gotta, whenever a horse races, they only see them in the finish line. You gotta have that kind of, like Asif was saying earlier, you gotta have that tunnel vision, Other than that, surround yourself with good people, because I feel like that saying, birds of a feather flock together, it's very true. So surround yourself with a good amount of people, like a good support circle that can support you in not just music, but just everything in general, like just someone you can talk to, because artists go through a lot, and it's expressed through their music in some degree, but no one can really know how far it goes.
Definitely.
So I think having a support circle is very important as an artist.
I dig it. Azif.
To tell the youth, man, those Koreatown kids, those Now Academy kids and stuff like that. Honestly, if I were to tell them anything, a piece of advice, have fun with it. Have fun. Fun is the best way to get into a hobby that can turn into a career.
Yeah.
If you don't feel good doing it, then don't do it. Just have fun with it. Don't think, just do it. Don't think about opinions. Don't think about, what ifs. Just have fun. Just have fun.
Nike, #, just do it.
Just have fun.
Sponsorship or whatever.
Yeah, I wish one day I'll have the collaboration.
Yeah, I dig it, guys. I love the piece of advice. I want to thank each and every one of you, Glenell, Azif, and Romario, for coming into the Understand Me podcast and sharing your knowledge within this business.
Thank you.
Go ahead and give us your final closing remarks as to where we can find you at on social media, what projects do you have coming up, and in general, anything else you want the audience to know. Glenell.
All right, for sure. Thank you for having me on here. First off, thank you for having both the Asif and Romario here next to me. It's crazy because I haven't seen them in years, but I think you can find me on Instagram, official Conundrum, official, and then Conundrum CONUNDRUM. That's also my SoundCloud. That's my Facebook page. And just if anybody wants to get served in Smash Bros, let me know. I got you.
For real.
Yeah, man. I think it's a cool way. I've always envisioned like our academy in particular, just always being tapped in, and like we've always been like music oriented.
Yep.
Considering that like we were just always low key and just like we never
chilling.
fucked with anyone. We never went to no after school events. You know what I'm saying? Like Savant, Lhasa, like ASGL, UCLA, probably they're just all have school spirit. We don't give a fuck. We
had lunch with nobody.
Oh God, for real.
Yeah, man. But it's great. Like I'm very thankful. I'm very privileged. You know what I'm saying, for you to like have all of us on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bro. This is amazing. Like I love this shit. You can find me on Instagram at good shit, but the I is an X, and as if ASIF. SoundCloud. Find me on my link. The links to all my stuff, my single Great out now featuring Barry America and King Acne. You know, it's all on my Instagram bio.
Dig it. I'll make sure I post all you guys' links as well. Romario, closing remarks.
I appreciate you bringing me on. You know, it was pretty cool to rejoin, recapture. And I just I appreciate that we're all like just being ourselves.
Facts.
I think that takes just a lot of courage, you know, because to not think that we're the same, you know, would be a mistake.
Exactly.
So it's beautiful to know that like we can always keep excelling. And you can find me on IG, you know, KoahG, Koah.G, so KoAH G. And then I'm on all platforms, Koah, and then Trippin'. And then it's also on my link in my bio. And yeah, I appreciate it.
Dig it. I love it, guys. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for the audience for listening. Go ahead and find us at understandme.blog. I'll go ahead and post the links to their music, Instagram handles, anything of that sort on our website. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. Wrap it up.